Hi, ladies. What's up, everybody? I am back with another episode of Monday Coffee with the Doll because it is Monday. Did you guys notice anything super delicious today? Just greasy and sexy and delicious. It's just my pizza suit. Is this thing bomb or what? What? You know how I do? Pizza. So, I thought that since this Wednesday, it is my celebratory day of birth. I will be turning 27 years old. I thought that it would be fun to wear a pizza suit for this Monday coffee. I might wear it to work. I might wear it every day for the rest of my life if that's what I choose to do. Because I have control over myself like that. So I thought that this video would be good if I just kind of talked about myself and let you guys in a little bit more on my life and who I am as a person and all that jazz. So this week I am turning 27 years old, and I was born in La Mirada, California. I know I have a lot of followers from Southern California, and I was born in La Mirada, but I grew up in Cerritos from birth until I was almost 16 years old. That's where I lived, was in California. I lived mostly in my grandma's house and with my parents. I went back and forth because I had such an attachment with my grandmother. So when I was almost 16, we lived in Lake Elsinore, California. That's in kind of Riverside. We went from Cerritos. I've lived in Fullerton. I've lived in Buena Park. I've lived in Riverside. I've lived in Lake Elsinore. We moved around a lot, apartment to apartment to apartment, and my parents weren't able to sustain a comfortable living environment for us, so that's why we ended up moving to Oklahoma. My dad is a long-haul truck driver, and the company that he drives for is based out of Oklahoma, so naturally, it only made sense to move here, right? Well, as a ripe young teenager, I was terrified. Now, it wasn't that big of a deal. I wasn't leaving like a whole bunch of people behind because I was homeschooled, but we were leaving our family and everything that we knew, so it was kind of scary. But we moved to Oklahoma, and it was a big culture shock, but we adjusted pretty well. So that's how I got here, because I know a lot of you guys are like, how did you get to California, or how did you get to Oklahoma? Why aren't you in California? Well, funny thing is that I was born there. I just don't live there anymore. So I am what do they call us? They call us a Calliope transplant. So I love Oklahoma. Oklahoma is what introduced me to rockabilly and so many amazing things. So I can't knock that. But so growing up, I was homeschooled my entire life from kindergarten all the way through high school. So I had absolutely no friends growing up, like zero friends. The only time that I had friends was my big brother. If he would make friends with somebody, he would let me hang out with them because he was an awesome big brother and we have a really great relationship. So if he had friends, he would let me tag along because that was kind of cool, I think. I like to think I was cool. He was into BMXing and RC cars, and I was all about that. So we got along really well. And I don't know, my teenage years were not like normal teenage years. I spent most of my teenage youth in my bedroom. When we moved to Oklahoma was the first time we ever got cable, so I found MTV and I was like, oh my god, TRL, Carson! So that was a really big thing for me. So I honestly just kept to myself all of my teenage years. I was a big time loner in the sense of I was actually alone. And I just kept to myself. I loved music and I loved reading fashion magazines and studying makeup and hair and fashion and modeling. And that's kind of what I spent my time doing, was practicing techniques on myself. Or Facebook wasn't a thing yet. Facebook wasn't a thing. MySpace was a thing, and I kind of got into MySpace, but let's just not talk about it. MySpace is nothing good. Nothing good came from MySpace, let's be real. So I spent all of my youth in my bedroom. Thankfully, my big brother, he got a job. So he would take me to the mall and we would go to the movies, and he would like give me $20 out of his paycheck to buy something from Sephora, which was like, yes, because he was a badass. Whose big brother gets a job and gives their little sister 20 bucks out of their paycheck so she can order something off of Sephora to feed her blooming cosmetic addiction. My big brother, that too, because he's awesome and I love his stupid face. So, I spent a lot of time feeding off of MTV and all of the reality shows that were going around at that time. And Degrassi, I can thank Degrassi for teaching me a lot growing up. They taught me all about boyfriends and social interaction and bullies and teen pregnancy and homosexuality and sex and all kinds of good stuff. All things I did not want to have to talk to my mom about or my dad about. So thank you, Degrassi, for saving me that awkwardness. Thanks. So I spent a lot of my time alone, and then when I hit 17 was when I discovered rockabilly and the culture. So growing up, me and my grandma spent a whole lot of time together, and my grandma is the one who really instilled that vintage retro love in my soul, like deep down in it. I grew up on her stories from being a teenager in the 50s, and she talked to me about the music and the cars and the things that her and her friends got into, and every time she'd go to Costco, she'd bring me back a movie, you know, that was either a musical or a John Wayne or some type of classic, and I just fed off of the energy from them and the wardrobe and the way people acted and the hair and the essence of that vintage style. So when I discovered rockabilly and custom culture, it really grabbed onto my heart, and it was something I couldn't shake, and I ignored it for a really long time. I just quietly studied anything that had to do with custom culture and rockabilly and pinup, studied it online, kept to myself until I turned I was 21 when I finally just said screw it. I don't know why I'm denying this. This is who I am. This is what I want. So I fully embraced my rockabilly-ness, and I, struggled with it for a long time because the people who introduced it to me immediately turned on me. I was a poser right out the door, and they attacked me, and I used to have my phone blown up. Nobody likes you. You just need to disappear, and it was just bullshit from day one, but I just kept on trucking. I cut the negativity out of my life and did what made me happy, and I'm still doing what made me happy, so here I am. Let's see, what else? So I have, my mom has been a stay-at-home mom my entire life. She went back to work here and there. She is a floral designer by trade. She went to school to be a floral designer. She's very creative, very supportive in all things creative, and I know that's where I get my quirky, fun, creative designing side. She's very artistic in a lot of things. I mean, that woman can decorate like nobody's business. She really should be a professional at it. My dad, like I said, is a long haul truck driver. He goes back and forth from California and Oklahoma. I've gotten in the truck with him several times to go back to visit family, and it's fun. I have a big sister. She's a cake decorator, and I have a big brother who is a diesel mechanic. My big brother actually, when I was 16 years old, let me take the transmission out of his 67 Mustang. That was a really fun experience. My big brother has always been a huge support in my life. He's always been, who gives a shit what those people say? You just be yourself. They don't know who you are. You're awesome. Which is good because when I was little, I used to get in fights protecting him and defending him from people because my brother's one of those types that's really sensitive but super there for you if you need him. Like, he's not your guy's guy, football, hang out loud, talk about girl type. He's the sensitive, cares about how people feels, will break his back to help you type. He's awesome, and I love him. I don't know what I would do without him, so My favorite thing in the whole world, I think, is making my big brother laugh. That's great. That's a good accomplishment in my book. I have a niece and a nephew who I love absolutely more than probably any aunt should love their niece and nephew. My niece was kind of my first baby. I went to every doctor's appointment with my sister. I was so excited. I have a million pictures of her. I used to do her hair and makeup when she was just a little baby, and she's my mini-me. She loves all the pinup stuff that I do, and she talks to me about stuff, and she's awesome. That's like the only little girl I'm probably ever gonna have, so I totally take advantage of it. What else? So I became a mom when I was 21 years old with my 5-year-old, and then I also had, at 23, I had Charlie, who is my little bundle of rough and tumble joy. Being a mom has definitely given me a really strong purpose in life. It gave me a direction that I didn't know that I needed, but I did. And it saved me in a situation that I was in. I can definitely say that being a mom kept my head totally above water. I'm already getting choked up. So, from 17 until 23, I was in a really abusive relationship. All you guys are constantly asking me about that, where my husband went. That's kind of one of the top things Googled under the vintage doll, which is kind of weird. But that is, I don't really like talking about it. He was my first quote-unquote love, but I was really blind and naive and innocent, and it was taken advantage of. And I'm a very different person now, like 100%. I kind of blocked a lot of that out because I don't want to be a victim. You know, people say, well, you're a victim of abuse. I didn't realize it until I finally stepped away from it and finally said enough is enough. And then that's when I really started going, oh wow, I was in much worse than I thought I was, because I was the excuse type. I was the type that made excuses for behavior and constantly thought that it was going to change, and I was for sure drowning. It was kind of like being stuck in a pool of pudding where you're kind of like, oh, this is scary. I'm drowning. I'm sinking. I'm saying, no, but it's got me. It's got me. It's got me, and I can't get out of it. So I think I'm just going to stay here, because if I struggle, it's definitely going to get worse. And so that's just kind of where I stayed for close to 10 years of my life. And then I finally grabbed onto a life raft, one of the many that people in my life tried to throw me over that 10 years. And I finally took control of my life and woke up and realized what was going on and that I couldn't live that way anymore. And it was difficult, but you know, you can't, and I don't want to be a victim of ever. Oh, the victim of abuse. I was. That's, I mean, realistically, that's what it is. But I'm not a victim anymore. I'm a survivor of it, and it doesn't own me. It doesn't define my life. It was a moment in my life that happened out of choices that I made, and it was a big learning experience, and I'm a much better person now, and I'm different, and I took control, and I'm doing a lot better, and I'm healthy, and I'm strong, and I'm brave. So it was just a moment in my life, so I did go through that. Let's see, what else? I had my first panic attack in 3rd grade. I was in 3rd grade. We had been homeschooled for so long, and then my mom had to put us back into public school for a while, and that was right when I was going into my 3rd year. And I didn't do well. I wasn't good with being social, and I wasn't good with being around other kids just because I was so shy, and it gave me anxiety. And at the time I didn't know what that was. I didn't know what anxiety was. I didn't know what panic attack was, but I did. I had a panic attack at school, and they sent me to the school counselor or the school therapist, who was like, you're just having an asthma attack. And I was like, I don't think that's what this is. And my grandma ran all the way from her home to the school after they called because she didn't have a car. Yeah, so it turns out that was my first panic attack, and I remember being terrified, and my chest felt really tight, and I couldn't breathe. And so naturally I was like, I mean, I guess it was asthma, whatever. But now I know what it is, and now I can get a hold of it and take control of that too. So that's a thing. The first time I ever got drunk, I was 19, and I was never a big partier. I don't know if you've ever heard that song Here, where she's talking about she doesn't know why she's at that party. Shouldn't be here. That's me. Being homeschooled, not having any friends, didn't really put me in any opportunities of being invited anywhere or going to parties or being involved in the teenage experience. But at 19, I did get really, really wasted on vodka. So much to the point that there's certain hair products I can't use now because they smell like it and they immediately make me nauseous. The only thing that I remember was we had just eaten a whole bunch of food, so I was really full, and they were like, let's get mimosas, and I was like, what's that? Because I was the kid who always did what she was told. I listened, I didn't break the rules, I didn't break the law. My big sister always made fun of me for it because I always did the right thing. So I was the goody. And so I was so full, the thought of drinking a bunch of orange juice made me sick, and I was like, can I just have it straight? And they're like, psh, you can't handle it. And I was like, boo-boo, watch me. 8-ounce glass in, definitely not 8 ounces full, but I was drinking an 8-ounce glass. And I remember being in front of Denny's, and I was walking on one of the parking spot paint lines in 4-inch wedges, and I was yelling at my big brother. I was like, oh my God, Bear, I can walk in 4-inch wedges while I'm drunk. What up, bitches? What a proud moment in my life. Drink responsibly, children, or else you can make a total ass out of yourself. The next time I got that drunk was on my 20th birthday, when I was drinking a pitcher of beer at a bowling alley out of a straw, and I power slid on my knees like a rock star down the bowling lane because I got my first strike. That was a thing. So, but other than that, I'm not a partier. I'm not a go to big thing. I don't like clubs. I can't stand the mentality and the people for the most part. There's usually somebody acting like an idiot and starting a fight, and I just get asked the same question over and over again. What's this? Like, what's this? And I'm like, what? What? Yeah, look that you have. Like, is it a cost? Like, what are you? Do you work here? Are you like an advertising girl? Bitch, do I look like I'm advertising something? The only thing I'm advertising is this delicious drink and how good it is. Watch me sip. Now watch me. No, I don't like the environment. It's just not my thing. I prefer now, as an adult, going to like burlesque shows or concerts. So that was definitely not a thing. What else? My first concert, I went to Frontier City here in Oklahoma. My first concert was for Bowling for Soup. That was some badass pop punk action. Hell yeah. A girl threw a water bottle at me and called me a whore. Still to this day, I'm not sure why. I was just standing there with my big brother and a little girl, who we brought with us because her mom had the tickets, and yeah. Let's see, what else? I love pizza. In case you didn't notice. I love pizza. I love food, just in general. Big ice cream fan. I love movies. I think one of my very favorite movies is a toss-up between Summer Magic with Haley Mills, Meet Me in St. Louis with Judy Garland, Transformers, the first one, or Encino Man with Brendan Fraser and Pauly Shore. Or Walk the Line with Johnny Cash. I'll watch for Johnny, the one with Joaquin Phoenix. I'll watch that anytime it comes on. I'm a big movie buff. Love movies. Big zombie fan. That was my biggest fear growing up. I used to dream all the time about zombies. I had a prayer journal. Like, that was the only thing I'd write in there. I just want to stop dreaming about zombies. My very first horror movie was Children of the Corn. Messed me up big time for a long time. What else? So, I mean, that's a lot of stuff about me. I don't know if you guys need any more information. So yeah, I've been through a lot of stuff. There's a lot of things that have happened that have made me me. I've never really celebrated my birthday that often. My last big celebratory birthday was when I was 16. I had my 16th birthday at a karaoke club. That was fun. There was a lot of dancing. I didn't sing. I don't do that. I had like anxiety, stage fright, hurling. It's not okay. Last year I spent my birthday signing all of your guys' calendars to ship out. There was like over 100 of them. So that's how I spent my birthday last year. My birthday is kind of a hit or miss. It's both positive, I guess, and negative. One thing that I'm always reminded of on my birthday is 4 years ago, I had to go in and have surgery because I had a miscarriage, and the only time that was possible to handle was on my birthday. So my second baby, birthday, I guess, is kind of on my birthday. So that's something I've struggled through as well. So I'm sure a lot of you can touch base on that one. But I've been through a lot of stuff in 27 years. I've barely shared any of it with you guys, I feel like, when I really get down to the nitty-gritty, but this is a celebratory day. It's happy, it's exciting. I'm 27. I'm embracing age. I'm excited to get older. I'm ready for Dirty 30. What? I feel like I was made for Dirty 30. Life is beautiful, and the years that were provided, however many, they're all a gift. And age shouldn't scare anyone. You're here, you're alive. The world is beautiful, life is beautiful, people are beautiful. And every year that you grow older is another year of experiences and blessings and beautiful things and privileges that you can say, I was here, I did this, and it's amazing. So you should definitely be grateful for it. You should definitely feel blessed. I know I feel blessed for making it 27 years. In the scope of things, that's not even really that long of a time, but it feels like forever for me, because it is my forever. But it's my birthday. It's my body and I'll cry if I want to cry. Thanks for making another one of my years great, guys. I appreciate you guys and the love that you give me. So remember, you're not only in control of the days that fill your week, you're in control of every year that you spend on this earth. Make them amazing, and help make somebody else's year amazing. What else are you going to do? So I'll see you guys next week.